Welcome to the first episode of the Three Hamster Boys podcast. Of course, we are the Three Hamster Boys. I'm Alexander. I'm the eldest son. This is Nick, my younger brother. And then our father, Jeff, will be joining us. It's weird to say
the old
Jeff.
man.
It's weird to say Jeff instead of just dad or
you can
father.
Call me dad, father.
So yeah, this is a fun little thing where we're just going to be hanging out. We'll be having some adult beverages and talking about some topics. Today, the topic in question is we're going to be talking about heroes in media and kind of what we consider heroes and why, and maybe some of our heroes that we look up to. But first, I'm going to throw it off to Nick, and Nick's going to talk a little bit about what we're drinking today.
Yeah. So to start it off, we are drinking some bourbon from a local distillery called Blind Preacher.
And it's from Foothills Distillery, and we'll have the information in the description.
Yeah. We've had a different bottle before, but this is a new one. And we'll also be having two different cocktails from this bourbon as like the sort of centerpiece.
Yeah, so the first one we got was the very first bottle that they ever distilled. And then this is the next bottle that came out. And that one, the first one was a single barrel. This one is a small batch. So
Yeah.
it's a mixture. So let's see how it tastes, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers. Click, click, click.
Skull.
Now, I'm a whiskey scotch drinker, so this is great to me. This is really good sipping. Maybe a little bit of rocks make it a little bit chilled.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't think they're much into the straight alcohol thing,
know.
gasoline.
No, I like it. The only issue is I like tapped it on the table like I was just gonna down the whole thing, and I was like, wait a second, this is a sipping.
It's a bold choice.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
But it's got a good finish. I really liked how it finished. So anyway, so the next drinks will be a little bit more easy to drink. How about that?
We'll see. The next one is kind of tough.
Yeah, so we've had a little bit of this, and we have this to kind of sip on while we're talking about heroes. So to kick things off, Dad, I know you were kind of one of the people who really introduced this idea. I want to kind of pick your brain a little bit, and like we each came up with three heroes that we think are like good heroes in media, but in your words, one, obviously I want to hear your number three hero, but also like what is a hero to you?
Yeah, so I think that one of the things that when we talk about this stuff while we're driving anywhere or at the dinner table, each of us has a different opinion and how they impact us. And so when I look at heroes, the thing I'm looking for is not usually the strongest or the fastest or whatever. It's someone that has the power to overcome whatever their weakness is or their limitation, and their ability to just do it. And I think that the three people that I picked have limitations, and they're not considered big superheroes like a Superman or whatever, or a Hulk, but they definitely represent someone that's changed and evolved, or really represents a kind of off the beaten path hero. So I'll do my first one. My first one is for number 3 is Aquaman, and most people think of the Aquaman of today, and what I remember for Aquaman is in the 70s as a child on Saturday mornings watching the Super Friends, right? You had Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman, and then the Wonder Twins. And Aquaman was probably considered the oddball because all he could do is jump in the water and control the fish. And I loved it. And it's kind of funny because it drove me to be in submarines for 9 years. So I loved being underneath the water and communicating. But Aquaman was always I always thought of him as the outsider super friend, so I thought he was great for me.
Did you go into the Navy and go into subs thinking that you could like see out the submarine windows and talk to fish?
No, I did not do that, but everybody asked me that. Oh, what were the windows like? And you can't see anything in a submarine. So.
Did you have like a orange like shirt?
I did. I had an orange shirt and green pants that I wore.
Just like Aquaman.
And then when I was feeling buff, I would tear it off.
Yeah. Oh, that's the new age Aquaman.
I didn't have the blonde hair. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, with time, the blonde hair has changed
That's
into
right.
something
It's
a little
true.
different.
I have no hair and it's great.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Nick, I think we'll throw it over to you here. One, what is a hero, and then what's this third hero that you're gonna kick us off with?
Yeah. I think I completely agree. I think a hero isn't just I'm the strongest in the room. It isn't the I'm the best. I think a hero it's all about the heart for me. Like it's the heart of a hero, or like the willpower. It's like the ability to look at the stakes and the odds, and like no matter how impossible or improbable, like they keep moving forward. Like it's the perseverance. I think that's like what a hero is to me. Like against all odds, they're still the one like going.
Yeah.
So my number 3 hero is from a little Cartoon Network one-shot show called Over the Garden Wall. And his name is Greg.
Yeah.
Greg is
That's a really superhero name.
he dresses as an elephant. He's fantastic. He's the determination to like never give up. It's like he's such a strong and like forward thinking character. He's definitely not the strongest. He's no way the smartest in any capacity. But his like attitude and like the sort of situations that he like goes against, he always seems to end out like pretty okay, and like is an inspiration. I think he's so great.
That's great. I mean, I love that we're thinking really outside the box of what most people think of as heroes.
I think, yeah, but we're still
Just
sort of
wait.
we're still staying in the vein. But,
That's right. This is still number 3. So.
Yeah.
I will also say, like, thanks for the reminder. The Over the Garden Wall season is coming up
It's
here,
true.
where
It's
we
true.
watch it once every year, and it's just about that time. That fall season is coming up.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right, Alexander, your turn.
Bring it home.
Yeah. I think very similarly to y'all, the hero is someone who is able to overcome, to push forward. I think like the definition of a hero is someone who displays like courage or outstanding actions, or some sort of like notable characteristics or noble characteristics. And I agree. I like that. The addition that I would throw onto this is, I think when I think about this question, when I think about heroes, I think about how, as I've gotten older, my definition or my ideal hero has kind of changed. And it never really been the same, and it kind of morphs into something different for what I think like I need in my life at this moment. So I think number 3, my hero, like as a kid, I loved Spider-Man.
Ooh.
And I think Spider-Man is like a good introductory hero, especially when you look at like comics and even like animated shows or even the movies, right? A lot of times it's really clear cut, like it's good versus evil.
Yeah.
It's the good guy beating up the bad guy, and it's like what you think of when you think of heroes. You think of like the Avengers,
Captain America.
Captain America. You
Yeah.
think like rushing into the front in the face of danger. And I think that's kind of like as a kid, I thought that was really cool to be so courageous, so strong, and to be able to swing into action and make like witty remarks.
Plus, he was a teenager, so it was something you could relate to if you were a teenager too. That this teenager was being something,
and he was a nerd too.
Yeah. Spider-Man is like the everyday like hero that like you can really understand.
Yeah,
but like he makes choices. Like Peter Parker makes those choices that really exemplify being a hero, in addition to like, if Peter Parker didn't have all these like powers, I still see him like doing like being a hero.
Yeah,
like he doesn't need the spider powers.
I think that whenever he doesn't make the right decision, he usually feels really guilty about it.
Yeah,
right. So when there's times in the comics or in cartoons or whatever, or in even the live actions, whenever he makes a decision that's not based on what his true values are and how he is as a hero, it always goes badly for him.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that that's something you can relate to.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even, we didn't even mention that, but like values and morals of like being high and kind of these more rigid morals feels
I'm gonna
like
change that.
Yeah, I bet.
Gonna go crazy.
Cool. So that's our first round of heroes. I love what everyone has brought to the table so far. Speaking of bringing things to the table, Nick, what are we drinking next, and why is it that color?
Okay. So,
do we need ice for this?
It's recommended chilled out of the glass.
I'm not even sure if we can like fit a lot of.
No, but we can get one or two in there.
Oh, the ASMR.
Yeah, I would recommend ice for many reasons. But this is what is known as a left hand.
And I'm left-handed.
I'm left-handed.
Yeah, I'm the right-handed person.
As a side note, does this make you think of camp when you left hand?
No.
Okay.
Well, sort of, a little bit. It's like so alcoholic. It has Campari, vermouth,
sweet vermouth,
and bitters. And chocolate bitters, and that's basically it. It was compared to like a Negroni
and the whiskey and the bourbon.
Yeah, and the bourbon. Yeah, we have the blind preacher obviously as the sort of
base.
Yeah, the flagship.
So this podcast is just going to get better and better the more alcohol we're drinking.
Absolutely, the ramble will continue.
Cheers.
Yeah. Oh, that goes down way too
I was
easy.
about to say, that's a little too dangerous.
The one I made yesterday was not like this. The one I made yesterday was so boozy. But no,
that's actually tasty.
That's very good.
I was like, it smells boozy, but it goes down really easy.
I made a really bad one yesterday, apparently.
Well, I mean, it's also, you didn't have the elderberry, right?
That's a different one.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah.
Oh, sneak peek for later.
The other one.
Yeah, this is really good.
That's nice. I was a little concerned.
And once again, just like with everything else, we'll put the recipe or the video to the recipe on in the description, so you can look at.
We should have had a video of you making them.
No, it was a mess.
We may not have the right equipment for doing mixology.
No, a lot of,
but maybe
weird materials used.
All right. So now that we have this drink, which I'm afraid might be dangerous as we're sitting here, moving on to our second hero choice out of three here. Nick, why don't you kick us off in your second hero here?
Yeah, I think I'm bound to just do side characters.
Okay.
Because I love the underdogs, or like the companions that are like always so trustworthy and like you look up to them. This one isn't a companion of sorts. It is a side character though, from an anime called One Punch Man, and the one who exemplifies being a hero in my eyes is a character called Moomin Rider.
Oh my! I knew you were gonna say that. So good. I agree 100%.
is just a guy with a bicycle. I don't know if are you familiar with it?
So I'm not the anime guy, and the only anime I get exposed to is what these guys show me.
That is true.
And I have seen One Punch, and I do remember this guy, but I don't remember a lot about him.
Yeah.
He doesn't show up often.
No.
But he does get his moments.
Yeah, he is like this indomitable spirit. He has this like unbreaking will, because in the One Punch Man world, everyone is supernatural, super powered, technologically light years ahead of everyone else. There's like some sort of edge that they have. But he's just a guy with a bicycle, and he rides around and just does whatever he needs to be. Like he knows like martial arts, but it doesn't compare to the things he faces. And he's just like this unbreakable will. Like he's ready to sacrifice his entire life to make sure that one citizen is safe and okay. And I think he exemplifies being like a true hero to like such a degree that it's like admirable just to watch whenever you see him.
I mean, yeah, I kind of am upset that I didn't put him in my list, because I think you're right. He's like the perfect hero in this world. He also has like stayed in C class, which is like the lowest rank of heroes, because he knows what he can handle and what he can't handle. And in this world of like supernatural things, he is quite literally just a man. He's just a human being. And that often gets him into trouble. There are moments where he is up against an opponent which he has no possible way of beating. There's like this person, I'm thinking of like the King of the Sea, who has beaten other heroes who are ranked much higher than him, who have superpowers. And Moomin Rider, it's just throwing his bike at this guy. Doesn't do anything except make this bad guy upset. But man, he's just a perfect hero.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Yeah, go around.
Yeah. Okay.
Top that.
Yeah. I absolutely.
And that's number 2.
I absolutely cannot. I think Moomin Rider, I wish I thought of
He
that.
could have been number 1.
He could have absolutely been number 1. I'm going to take a little bit more of a different approach. Back, a couple minutes ago, I was saying that I think heroes change as I've gotten older. And I think Spider-Man exemplifies this very like black and white, good versus evil, good vanquishing evil. But oftentimes in world and in media, good and evil are not necessarily as obvious, or even like there isn't a good or evil. It's a lot more gray area. One of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies is Princess Mononoke. And the character Ashitaka from Studio Ghibli, from Princess Mononoke, I think is a good exemplifier of a hero in the fact that he has power, but he also is in this way of like, he doesn't want to overuse that power or abuse that power. And I think Princess Mononoke is a good example of like, there's not really good and evil. It's like man versus nature in most of this. And a lot of times it's not like the forest, nature isn't evil in this regard. They're trying to protect themselves, and man in their own right are not necessarily evil in this movie as well. And it's kind of this back and forth of trying to find coexistence. And I think Ashitaka is a good mediator for this in terms of trying to solve things peacefully, or mediate without violence. And sometimes he does have to use that force, but other times he tries to stop and prevent more people from being hurt.
I think you brought up like a really good point on also like what a hero's job is. I think we've mainly talked about like overcoming, like and like defeating evil, and like you bringing up like heroes can also just be like peacekeepers, or like they will find a balance between this like light and dark from like someone's perspective. And I think that extends like both ways. And a hero is someone who like it's always someone who takes like a road least traveled, and like no matter how difficult, like solving the solution through more unconventional means, I think is like also such a great characteristic.
It's much more interesting.
Yeah.
You want them to be transformational, but in a very unique way.
It's like way more compelling when everyone's like, oh, we have to defeat the other side. And then when someone arrives and goes, what if there's another way?
Right.
And I think that's always like the protagonist and the call. But it's like it's like very endearing at some points.
Yeah. So I'm going to go a completely different way. So my number 2 is really brutal and whatever. It's Kratos from God of War.
Yeah.
And so I am not a big gamer. I love watching games. When Alexander was younger, me and Nick used to watch him play, and it was something that we really enjoyed doing. And I love watching video games, and we watch a bunch of different ones on YouTube. And when we were watching the playthrough on both of the God of Wars,
the most recent ones,
the
original ones 2018,
the original ones were very much one-sided, where he was just violent.
Yeah, Kratos like starts off as like a very like you sympathize with his like feelings, but he's not a really good person.
He's not a sympathetic character at all.
No.
But I think that the last two really developed him and transformed him into something really very different. So at the end, it was
minor spoilers.
Yeah, minor spoilers. Yeah. So in the end, he was a different person. And the thing that was driving him was less about breaking things than creating and solving things in my mind. And I think that was, and he used, there's no doubt he is a violent character that does things that are not nice. But in the end, he came to a point of peace, and for everyone around him too. And so it's for me, it's an anti-hero kind of character, but I love that transformation, and I love that where he ended up was such a great place. And so I think that's why he's on my list, although he's definitely not a traditional hero in that sense.
I think Kratos is so fascinating in the way that, his transformation. And I think it's watching a character go from such a low state, like you could never sustain yourself as like such a character,
right.
And then like watching them transform, and like the enemy partly for Kratos is himself and his past, and watching him fully overcome, accept, and become this thing he never imagined himself being in any sense.
Because everyone, when they saw him, they saw the old Kratos. No matter everyone he talked to, they always talked about what he had done.
Yeah.
Oh, you killed this god or whatever. That's who you are.
Yeah.
And he kept doing things that were against that, which were just incredible.
Something that you haven't mentioned that I thought you were going to mention is Kratos is also a father.
Yeah.
And I think his son has also played, like, especially in the newer games. Well, yeah, in the newer games, because the
daughter.
No spoiler. But I think that also touches how I look at him.
Yeah.
Because he was willing to do everything for his son.
Yeah.
And that was not the character he was in the early games.
And I think a lot of the change that we see from Kratos is brought on by the fact that he is obviously fighting against himself and fighting against the way that people look at him, but also the way that his son looks at him.
Yeah.
And I think also him trying to live up to what he thinks his wife wants him to be.
It's true. Yeah.
And I think that's always a hard thing to match and get right.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that is a pretty good one.
That was deep.
Yeah.
All right, drink number 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I haven't even finished this, but sure. Yeah. Let's talk about the next drink. Nick, what do we got here?
This is a Paradise Apple. This is the easiest to drink. At least yesterday it was.
Maybe it's different now.
And we need ice.
I'd highly recommend it. Yeah, ice is really good with it.
Okay, we're doing ASMR again.
We have tongue. Oh, whatever. This is obviously with the bourbon. It's a more seasonal drink.
Try not to get you to splash it. There we go.
It
apple cider, right?
It has apple cider. It has figs and honey. It has elderflower liqueur, and then a Riesling.
Yeah, Riesling.
Riesling, that's how you say it. I've been saying Riesling for the whole time I've been looking it up.
Yeah, Mom was not happy with your pronunciation earlier.
I've been critiqued and corrected a variety of times, but no, it's like it's just apple, and it's very good. It's like really good to drink.
Definitely sounds like a fall drink.
Yeah.
Right.
For the spirit of it. Cheers.
Cheers.
I love apple things. This is so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I like the middle one the best.
Ooh. It kind of burns my throat.
The middle one?
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't get that.
I mean, it's got a lot of alcohol in it, but yeah, I think I like that one best. I'm not a big apple fan. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, this one. No, I love the sipping, but I
Right.
definitely like the middle one the best.
Yeah. I wanted a variety, and I think
I think it was good. I think
Yeah.
you did really good here.
All right.
Alexander.
Yeah,
number
bring it
one.
home.
I'm the only person who hasn't gone first this time, so I'll go first this time. Again, I think everything that I do has kind of brought me, or all the heroes that I thought about have been brought about by me thinking about what I need, or like what I think a hero should be. And kind of as a little backstory, Nick and I work at a camp for kids with medical needs, diagnoses, things of that nature. And I really enjoy my work as a camp counselor, or sometimes leadership, whatever, over the summer. And that kind of plays in my mind a lot, because I think about, am I doing the right thing? Am I like mentoring these kids properly? Am I really having like the effect that I want to on them? So my last hero is Garnet from Steven Universe. So this is you have no idea what this is.
I have no idea what this is.
I haven't seen Steven Universe. I'm not familiar with the character. I'm familiar with the series.
Yeah. So as a little backstory, this is like a children's show. I won't sugarcoat it. It's a kid's show on Cartoon Network, or was on Cartoon Network when it was airing. And basically, it's about this kid, Steven, who is living with these people who are like quite literally made of gems.
Oh.
So Garnet is a garnet gemstone.
Oh, okay.
And you have Amethyst, like there are other characters that are gems, and basically these gems are like aliens from the outside, like out from space, that have come to this world. And Steven is a kid, and he doesn't have his mom, he doesn't have a parent or anyone. Well, he has a dad, but his dad is
piece of coal.
Well, no, he's a good guy. His dad is trying his best, but not doing great. And so Steven lives with these gems who have kind of like taken over responsibility of, being a parent to him. Garnet is, I think the epitome of like a mentor. And she kind of helps Steven learn how to control the powers that he has, but also to be like a human being and like exist in the world. I think it's a show that kind of really kind of goes about like growing up and what it means to be a kid, and what it means to get older. Sometimes that means fighting aliens along the way.
Sure, why not?
But
That's what I did.
Yeah, we've all been there. But I think in this way, Garnet is my hero, because not only is she like awesome at fighting and kicking alien butt, but she also is able to sit down with Steven and be like, hey, you're going through a lot of emotions right now. This is a really stressful situation. You're feeling overwhelmed, and I get that, and that's okay. And she's like able to offer not only that mentorship, but also like a listening ear to be like, I get it, you know? And I really respect that, and I really like that. And when I was watching the show, it really kind of resonated with me, the kind of person that I want to be in being a strong mentor, and able to kind of empathize and make sure that my kids are heard and seen, and they feel like they're in a safe space.
That's great, and that really plays into my hero.
Right. Yeah.
So my number one hero is John McClane.
Yeah.
From Die Hard.
The best mentor.
The best mentor.
Skirt a big shift.
Welcome to the party. So John McClane is my number one hero, just for everything we said.
What is John McClane from?
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Bruce Willis.
The greatest Christmas movie ever.
Yeah. And let's not start that.
And then 4 sequels.
4 sequels. Let's not count number 2. We'll count number 3. We won't count 4 is okay and 5 is not.
I forgot there was a 5th one.
Yeah.
The 5th one's a Russian one.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
The Sun.
Yeah, The Sun.
Sorry.
Anyways, so the thing is that this is just an average guy down on his luck, and he's not. All of my heroes, except for Kratos, but usually my heroes are they really depend on somebody else, because like in each one of the sequels of Die Hard and the original, he's always like, I'll just get it to somewhere where someone else can do something, and then he's always forced to have to do something because the rescuing police force or army or whatever gets thwarted because the bad guys know better.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, this is also kind of a good bad thing. There, you know who the bad guys are, you know who the good guys are. There's not a lot of gray area in this, but it's fun. You see this guy trying his very best. He has no superhero powers. He has no extra powers. He's just a regular guy trying his best. And that's, to me, the epitome of what a hero is, because you have to be able to do that in your day-to-day life. Like you said, be a mentor, be an example, help people out as much as you can. And I love that idea. It's just kind of an extreme in a Die Hard movie.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not jumping from any.
I would say John McClane, though, he's always the unknown factor.
Yes.
Like he always goes against these like masterminds, right?
Yeah.
There's always like, oh, we'll someone who plans against like the biggest stakes, like, oh, we can deal with army or like giant forces, and then John McClane strolls up and like their entire plan is dissolved.
I said, when I go into a room, I never think I'm the smartest or the best, but I'm always trying hard.
Yeah.
And that's what he is. He knows he's not the smartest, whatever.
I think he's like the hero fantasy in a way, where like he's just like a cop from New York or whatever. And so like in a way you're like, could I take down a group of Russian or like German terrorists? I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Nick, your turn. You finish this up here.
So, as stated, I'll reiterate: companions. they are the tried and true. They're basically like a lot of heroes have their anchor, their support, their foil. Yeah, and I think they're so necessary for like the completion of the hero that we see take center stage. But there's one in particular that I feel overcomes it and really shines brighter than the hero a lot of times, which is Samwise Gamgee, the Hobbit. He's my number one. He is the coolest guy ever. He is someone who has no confidence in himself. He is someone that looks at everyone else like they are gods, basically. He hangs out with the Prince of the Elves, Gandalf the Grey into the White. He hangs out with the Bearer of the One Ring. He hangs out with the King of Gondor. He's surrounded by just the most impressive people in the entire world. And yet there's something so charming about just a hungry hobbit looking to get home and I've seen this comparison. I think it's so funny. He traveled around the entire world fighting against the odds of impossibility to gain the courage to ask the girl he loves to out, like who already loves him.
Yeah.
I think it's so. He's such a good character. Frodo would have fallen so many times, time again.
True.
Without Sam, and he's the one who tells the story. He's the one who leaves this legacy, because Frodo disappears,
Right.
but Sam is this one who still will withstand the world, and I think, God, he's so awesome. That's my hero.
I mean, I think it's a great ending to this, because I think that the three of us really picked characters that were really personal to us, and I think that's really the underlying part of this, is that heroes are your personal extension. What is important to you and what is valuable to you. So
I agree.
I think we also tried to think a little outside the box, because I think it's easy to think, when you think hero, you think of like the Captain Americas of the world, but there's so many other heroes that maybe aren't quite as acknowledged or thought about.
But are a lot more interesting, I think.
Yeah, but are a lot more interesting. Yeah, you know, I was thinking about Superman as being like that base hero for me.
Absolutely.
But a lot of times he's just like not super interesting.
He's a cardboard. He's just such a flat cardboard.
Well, he's what anyone needs him to be, I think.
Right, yeah.
He's like he's the tofu.
Yeah.
He's the tofu. He's a tofu
Yeah.
hero. He will, there's a big giant threat. Okay, he'll deal with him. But also he's someone who will take time out of his world-saving duties to talk to someone.
Yeah.
I think he's both ends, and I think he's whatever a narrative needs him to be.
I was about to say, I think it's necessary. Like, I think those type of characters are needed and might not be as interesting. Like, I think All Might from My Hero Academia plays like a very similar role in that regard, where like he's what he's needed to be, but he's not like a super interesting character at the end of the day.
I mean, I think I was also thinking about Robin, because I think there's many facets to how Robin has evolved in the comics.
From like Batman and
Batman?
Robin? Okay,
Ooh.
yeah.
Okay.
Because Batman's already a complex character in the comics, not in the movies. Let's ignore that.
That
stuff.
depends on the movie.
Yeah,
but
Whatever
yeah.
movie, yeah.
But I think that Robin really can be such an interesting character, especially as he's evolved into different.
I was about to say, and there's so many different
There's
Robins.
so many Robins, each of them having their own like final evolution.
Their own evolution. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like their
Like Pokemon, yeah.
Evolving. Robin, it's like Eevee. Robin evolves into
Either
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Nightwing.
Red Robin,
Yeah.
Oracle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think.
I think that's it for
That's
us
our three
today.
heroes.
We've had some alcohol. We've talked about heroes. And I've just had a great time with
Just a
y'all.
joy.
Yep.
Yeah, it has been fun.
Oh,
Well, thank y'all so much for watching. If you want to see more, let us know.
Yep.
yeah.
Give us a like, give us a subscribe, or not.
We'll continue a few more times.
Yep.
Exactly. We'll do
Hey.
it even if you don't.
All right.
And we'll see you later. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Take it easy. Bye.